Good morning and welcome to Trade Talks. I'm your host, Jill Malandrino, Global Markets Reporter at Nasdaq. Joining me at MarketSite is Eli Hoffmann. He is the CEO and Editor-in-Chief of Seeking Alpha, a site that many of the traders in our audience are familiar with. Eli, thank you very much for joining us at MarketSite today. So what do you love about the stock market?
What's there not to love about the stock market? It's a meritocracy. It's a place where everybody can take a bet on which companies he thinks is going to be successful over the coming weeks, months, years. And it's also a vehicle where people can enrich their lives by making smart investments and investing in their own futures.
So tell us about why you joined Seeking Alpha and a little bit more about the company.
Sure. Seeking Alpha, as many viewers I'm sure know, is a platform for crowdsourced equity research or investment research. So all of our authors are not Seeking Alpha employees. They're investors like you and me who write up their investment theses and publish them in order to put them in front of an audience, get critiques on them, share their thoughts with other people. That was very appealing to me, coming from a stock market financial background, to be involved with something that I felt was trailblazing and doing something new and different that hadn't been done in the past, which was the missing voice, the voice of the investor, rather than the voice of the paid analyst. And I think we've done a lot in that space, and that was really, I think, for me, the clincher.
What's your favorite sector or area of the market to cover?
I don't know if I have a single one. I love biotech because it's so binary, and there's so much research that goes into the outcomes of different experiments the companies are running. But I also love the fact that through the stock market, all of these innovative therapies and medications are being funded, and that companies can, in fact, take bets on potential life-saving medications through that mechanism.
So how would you say financial media has evolved over the past 10 to 15 years?
In some ways it hasn't. It's a slower beast to move, I think, than many other beasts. Nonetheless, I think there are a lot of things that are changing there. I think that social media has changed the way people engage with other investors. It's opened it up to, instead of perhaps getting your stock ideas from a guy in the golf course, there are actually now communities like Seeking Alpha and other communities where investors can engage with other investors and get a sense of how do I make smarter decisions and how do I invest in a more successful way. And I think that's the biggest change that we're seeing, and I think that will continue to change. People will continue to move to getting more of their advice from peers rather than by paid experts.
So would you say that's the future of financial media?
I think it's a big part of the future of financial media. I think the voice of the individual is becoming more and more powerful, and I think that financial media is adapting already in ways that other media verticals have to make sure that that voice is heard and becomes more prominent.
What future trends do you think are going to impact investment research?
Investment research is under a lot of scrutiny right now. There are regulators that are trying to decouple the research function from the brokerage function, and that's already having causing major upheavals in Europe. There's a lot that's going to happen in Europe already, and is happening already, and it's going to move into the U.S. as well. I think what's going to happen as a result of that is the research industry will move from a industry that's dominated by large research providers into far more individual research shops opening up that try to add genuine value by doing research in the areas of their expertise. And I think that's going to be a big shift in the way people think about consuming their research. No longer is it going to be a freebie, or at least appear to be a freebie based on your relationship with the brokerages, but rather something you're going to actually have to justify the cost of. And I think that's a good thing for investors, because value-driven products, including investment research, care a lot about how much value you get out of them, and that will change the nature of that for the better.
All right, and to wrap up, how does Seeking Alpha play a role in the future of investment research?
Well, we hope to play a big role in that. We've got what we call the Investor Marketplace. We launched the Investor Marketplace 3 years ago with about 10 of our highest contributors, and we now have 170 contributors who are providing private communities within Seeking Alpha where people are getting, some of them cover biotech, some of them cover shipping stocks, and they do a wide range of things. But helping that sort of individual research provider evolve into something that can help other investors, I think that's going to be one of the ways that we play a role there.
All right. Well, thank you very much for joining us at MarketSite today, and thank you for joining me.
Having me.
I'm Jill Malandrino, Global Markets Reporter at Nasdaq.